Welcome back, Josh from Slide Science, guys. Today's video, we're going to be breaking down line, speed, and angles that you can link a track, or that you can go out to a new track and successfully do it without stressing yourself out and wasting your money. Before I dive into my tips on how we're going to break this down, let me ask you a question. If you're driving down a road at about 45 miles an hour towards a red light and the light is currently green, if it turns yellow, at what point are you going to stop because you don't think you can make it through it, or are you going to speed up because you don't think you can stop in time? I can't answer that. Neither can you. That's called rate of closure. That's you judging how fast something's coming at you and what input needs to be made to fix it. That is drifting and how to figure out your line in a nutshell. What that's going to come from is experience. However, I'm going to provide you the tools so you can come up with that line and give yourself a baseline so that all you have to do is learn the speed on the track based off the line that you built and where the track's going to send you. With that being said, here's the 3 ways we're going to break it down. We're going to identify the line type. We're going to identify what to look for when you're doing a track walk or a map overview, and then the methods that I like to use when I go to a track. After that, we're going to dive into a overlay video. I have 2 tracks I'm going to break down. They're 2 different types of tracks. One works well, one kind of takes some effort, and I'm going to overlay the track overlay. We're going to identify the zones, the clips, XL, decel zones, and then the car is going to run it on the bird's eye view, as well as the in-car cam. My hand cam and foot cam will both be up as well. So you can see my inputs, where the car is going, and then how it looks on the overlay if we were trying to imagine or basically visualize this when we're doing a pit walk. The first thing, we go out for a track walk, right? What I'm trying to look for, whether it's on a map or, like I said, doing the track walk because you're new there. I'm identifying the line type. So what I'm looking for is increasing radius turns or decreasing radius turns. That's going to tell me if it's an acceleration zone or a decel zone. I'm going to take all that information in and figure out which corner needs to pick up speed, where I need to slow down. After I do that, I'm going to be like, okay, here's my outer zone where I want to put the back of the car. This corner is going to be an inner clip, and I'm putting all that into my head to memorize it and trying to visualize where my car is going to go when I'm looking down the track. What I'm also doing is picking references. If I know I need a decel, I'm trying to find a reference so when I'm out there for my first few laps, I know something like, hey, at this cone, I should start scrubbing my speed. If that one doesn't work, as I start to drive later, I'm going to adjust that as necessary. I'm constantly looking for references so that I know how to be better on this track and drive that perfect line if the zones and clips aren't marked. So what are you looking for outside of making your line? Track surface, wet or dry, how hot is it, how cold is it chunky, is it very smooth? That matters. Take note of that so you know how the car is going to react. As you get more experience, you're going to understand how your car reacts differently based off of those. Pick those references like I said, and then pick a point to break the track down. If you're not at that point where you can just go out on any track and just make it work, then pick the easier sections, break it down 1-2 corners at a time, and then straighten out, restart the next 2 corners. And then as you get better, start linking them all together throughout the day. That way you're not wasting tires and gas because you keep spinning out on the same one corner. Go do the one corner, then come back and make it link with the rest. That's going to help you a lot, especially when it comes to saving tires or breaking parts because you're just going off track, and then you get frustrated and then you really don't improve. So the method I use is using those 2. I visualize it right, set my zones. After that, I'm not even going to go out there first. I'm going to watch for the first 5 minutes. Why go out there and waste my tires and gas and get frustrated when I could spend 5 minutes and watch people that have probably driven this track and that are also good drivers or worse drivers or same skill level as me, so I can see what I kind of need to do. I can paint that picture of how fast they're going, what gear they're in, how much smoke they're making, where they're slowing down, feed in all that information, just a quick 5 minutes, and then I'm going to go out there. Once I get out there, my first 1 or 2 laps, I don't use the e-brake or the left foot brake. Why? Because I want to see where the track and my car is going to put me. After that 1 or 2 laps of me just driving the track or drifting it where the car is going to want to go, then I can come back and be like, okay, I know I need to do this here because the car's not getting to the zone I want. Or I need to pick up more speed here because I'm not getting out as far as I want to, or I'm not making it to the next corner. That's how I do mine. So it'll be an advanced video later breaking this down, but in this, you're going to see me touching the left foot brake and the handbrake in a few corners after the first lap. So the left foot brake slows the front wheels, the handbrake slows the rear wheels. In drifting, the front wheels are your ground speed, your rear wheels are going faster than your front so that you can maintain drift. So if I slow down the rear, I'm going to stop drifting or the car's going to slow down naturally. If I slow the front, I can actually stay heavy on the throttle and allow the car to pivot around the front faster or hold the angle that I'm at longer. So in this video, you're going to see me pressing it hard on some transitions to get the front wheels to grip up more, to allow that rear end to snap and rotate around the front faster. And in some of the longer corners, you might see me just feathering it because I'm trying to keep the car from wanting to go this way and drift or forward, and trying to keep it sideways to stay deeper in that zone for longer to walk it out. If I was to touch the brake and steer into the corner, I could also tighten my line but still be smooth instead of going out as wide. So I can make it a shorter line, I can hold my line, or I can use it to dive and pivot the car really fast, or a combination. The handbrake, on the other hand, mostly used to set the line of the car, or if you're in tandem, which we'll talk about later, to set or check the car up where you're at. What that means is I snap into a corner, I notice I'm carrying too much speed based off my rate of closure, or I'm going to get too much angle based off my throttle input, that I'm just going to snap the e-brake real quick to set that current line and then maintain the drift through it. But all that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the breakdowns now and start talking about figuring out the line, watching the line happen, and how it plays out.
Okay, so based off all the tips we just talked about and how we decide line on the track walk or the overlay, let's break down midpoint. I like this track because it has accelerating, decelerating corners. Some of the corners don't look on paper like they're going to link, so you have to adjust your line accordingly and try to figure out how you're going to run this track. This is also a good example of a track that if I was new, I'd probably break it down in sections and not try to do the whole thing at once, or it's going to make it harder on you. So we're starting at the top of the screen, going from right to left. We come into one. It's a standard corner, nothing crazy, but one is going to have to set me up for 2 and 3 and 4 and able to make it to 5 and kind of break down the other half of the track. So coming into one, I should come out kind of wide, and I know the green dots are going to signify that I'm picking up speed, trying to put the car to where the yellow is at 2. Coming out of 2, it's going to slingshot me across the track back towards that yellow T, and then it goes red. The red signifies a decel zone, or I should be scrubbing speed. So I'm going to snap to angle there so I can scrub that speed off to get into 3, pick up that outer line, that nice wide line, picking up speed again going into 4. 4 is an accelerating corner. So I got a lot of speed to pick up to get it around 4, all the way around that pond, just to scrub it right back off going into 5, which is where the red dots come in. So I'll snap at the angle there, scrub off the speed. Once I see the line that I want to go through 6, I'm going to light back off, pick up all that speed back going through 6, trying to hug that outer edge, come around the tree, and then snap into 7 to the right. Snapping in probably pretty early because you're going to use that rate, that quick rate to angle and get it to angle to scrub off all that speed you just built up coming out of 5 all the way up to 7. As you come out of 7, though, you have to pick that wheel speed or that speed right back up to make it down through 8 with a little manji in between, and then scrub it right back off going into 8, and then come out of 8 on the end on the backstretch, ending your lap unless you're going to try and manji the straight and link it. So that's kind of the general overview. So now I'm going to have the car kind of play through it and just kind of talk as it goes to kind of see like how I painted the picture and what the car does. Note this first lap is no left foot brake, no handbrake. It is just driving to see where the car wants to go. If I just drive it and I don't use any additional inputs to adjust the line, I'm just trying to drive and see how the car flows on this track before I start making other inputs and see where I need to add inputs to get it where I want it to be. All right, here comes the car into 1. So you can see I'm a clutch kick entry, kind of coast for a second, get back on throttle. I'm heavy on throttle going into 2, pushing it out to the side of the track. Picking up speed again, snap the angle. There's that scrub speed into 3. And then immediately you can see I'm heavy on throttle going into 4, trying to get it as far out as I can. Pretty heavy on the throttle, holding it, angling up towards 5, snapping it to scrub the speed, and then right back on throttle heavy as soon as I see my line to get all the way through 6. I'm going to come around the tree and start to angle up to snap hard back into 7. There's the float to scrub off the speed again, light off, and then there I am heavy on throttle again, picking the speed back up to manji left, then right, and then snapping back in hard to the left to scrub the speed. And if you notice, I don't scrub enough. I actually kind of go off on 8. Coming back around, and then that resets the track, and that's the first lap and how it breaks down. Going to the second lap, I'm going to use left foot brake and handbrake. So you notice I go into 1, same line, pushing it out far, came in faster, I got more speed going into 2. You're going to probably see me snap that left foot brake, there it is, going into 3 to get that angle to come around more. And then as I come into 4 this time, watch for the red arrow on my pedals, you're going to see me hitting the brakes to keep that car out on that wide line and get the car where I want it to be so I go into 5 smoother. Same thing coming out of 5, picking up speed again. I'm probably going to touch the left foot brake around the tree to get the car to angle up some. There it is. And now snap into 7, left foot brake again to get it to rotate around the rear, and then back on throttle, coming back around the corner, into the manji, into 8, and I'm probably going to left foot brake again going into this to get it to snap sooner to angle so I can scrub off more speed. Coming out, and then that pretty much ends the last lap. All right, the next one we're going to break down is BHS Playground. This is a sim track, but I think it flows very well, so it's a different type of track to break down for us here. I'm not going to go into the weeds without just doing the overlay so I don't waste your guys' time, but this is how I would break this one down on the screen. You can see I have the corners annotated, where the outer zones are at in yellow, where the inner clips. Blue means I'm kind of maintaining my current speed. Orange means I might be slowing down some. Green means I need to pick up speed. Red is my decels, or where I'm scrubbing off speed to adjust my line accordingly. So if I was walking this track or looking at it, this is what I would imagine myself I have to do, and then I'd go out and execute it. The really only two corners here to kind of highlight is one going into two. It's kind of a far stretch, and it's like a low angle corner, and then it goes into a lot into that zone, and then you come out into three. From four all the way to six, you're gonna need to pick up a lot of speed to be able to push out into five, just to scrub it off to get into the corner before six at the end of five. And then as you come through six, you're gonna start picking up speed again to make it all the way through seven. Carry the speed through seven just to scrub it all back off again at eight. So timing is going to be very pertinent on this track to get the speed needed and the wheel speed up to get to that next corner, and then to be able to scrub it off to not blow off track before the next one. So let's break it down as the car goes through. All right, first lap, no handbrake, no left foot brake coming into one. We enter in, I'm going to transition towards the inner clip, scroll off a little bit of speed in the center, and I'm trying to set that line for two. Pushing it all the way down to try to get deep into two for the outer zone. Speed's kind of maintaining the same because I know I'm going to angle up here to go to three. Back on throttle, maintaining speed around three. And it's pretty fluid through here, right? It pushes me out wide, allows me to stay consistent on throttle. Not really, I don't need left foot brake or anything for any of this until probably right here coming out of four. Picking up a lot of speed, trying to push it out into the inner clip between five and four, wide on five, and then tucking it back into the inner clip prior to six. And then here you're going to see me scrub off some speed coming into six to set my line as far as I can out of six to be able to make that outer zone to go to seven. All throttle, snapping into seven, scrub a little bit of speed so I don't go off track into seven, and then stay heavy on it. You're going to notice I kind of come off the wall and my line kind of needs adjusted there, and then snap into eight. This one I'm going to use the left foot brake and e-brake with it, so now I'm going to be able to correct my line where I see fit, or try to hold the car in the zone with that left foot brake, watching for that pedal or the input on the bars in the center of the screen. You can see I'm touching that left foot brake now to hold it out on the line I want to keep, to not let it drive me off the wall or start to straighten up and speed up on me. Same thing in three, there's the left foot brake, just a touch of it to keep the car where I wanted it at, to not allow it to come off line. Into four, and you're going to see me use it making it through five, because I'm going to use it to snap that car around again and to not let the car straighten up on me. So here it is going into the wall, bringing it down. There's a left foot brake to kind of add more angle. Now I really hit that inner clip, pushing it as wide as I can in 4-6, snap, left foot brake to bring the nose into the inner clip again, pushing it as wide as I can, and then going into seven, you're going to see me use the left foot brake to hold it on that outer zone. Set the line, light off, and then there I am tapping the brake, trying to keep that car out as wide as I can in the zone until I need to snap into eight and come through the next inner clip. That pretty much breaks it down. That's two different tracks, kind of different styles. I hope the intro really helped you guys understand what you're looking for, make this track happen. Break these down, use these tips. This is going to help you to start linking the tracks. And my next video is going to be doing tandems and some actual in real life drifting, and my overview of both of my cars as well, LS swaps, track setup, etc. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something new, and see you next time.